Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Big time recruiting weekend going on right now in Knoxville. A lot of guys on campus. Nico Iamaleava is back in town with the family. He is in the ear of recruits, guys like five-star offensive tackle Francis Mauigoa. A lot of guys, just a lot of guys on campus. A big weekend before we go into the dead period for recruiting. So can Tennessee kind of get some buzz, get some momentum again back on the recruiting trail? And for me, we've kind of talked about a lot. We've been talking about a lot of skill positions. And I think that Josh Heupel is going to be able to take what he's got and continue to have a successful offense. But when we flip over and look at defense, we look at the rebuild, what Tennessee needs to do to get back on top of the SEC. I know a lot of people sell that defense wins championships. Well, I think Nico Iamaleava wins championships. I think it is so crucial to have a top quarterback in each and every class. They've got that with Nico, but I think we just got to improve the defense just enough, and Tennessee can be back where they belong. And I think that all starts up front. It starts with the defensive line, and it starts with Rodney Garner. We're going to take a look at what he has been able to do on the recruiting trail, kind of in 2022, and then stacking another solid class in 2023. One of those guys that we're going to take a look at today, four-star defensive tackle Hunter Osborne. We'll get into that in just 1 second. As always, do me a favor, smash that thumbs up just below the video. It's quick, it's free, it's easy, it helps the channel. If you're new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome. We're not experts, we're not insiders, we are fans just like you. So if you enjoy the content, make sure you subscribe, click that bell for notifications. You won't miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. You guys know the catchphrase by now. For the fans, by the fans. The boys over at Volunteer Utility Services are fans just like you and I. They handle all commercial and residential excavation needs, utilities, septic tanks, irrigation installs, dog fences, and more. They also do landscaping, masonry, concrete work, and junk removal. Give them a call, 865-320-6194. That's 865-320-6194. Check them out on social media. I'll drop the links to that in the description below. For the fans, by the fans. Show some love for not only an East Tennessee local business, but also a member of the Talkin VAWLS family. Volunteer Utility Services. So I guess when we talk about this defensive line, first and foremost with Rodney Garner, what he was able to do last year during the season with that football team. A lot of guys, struggled early in the spring. It was a major concern. And as we kind of went through the season, we saw the numbers, Tennessee up towards the top of the country in tackles for loss. We saw a guy like Matthew Butler who really came along. Rodney Garner helped put him in the league. He had 47 tackles, 5 sacks on the season. A guy like Byron Young needs to step up. A guy like B.Y., Tyler Barron, Roman Harrison, we need to see them really get after the quarterback. B.Y. did lead the team in sacks, tied with Jeremy Banks at 5.5, but we need to see them continue to progress, continue to get better. But I think we saw that. I think we saw a defensive line unit that was absolutely horrible during the spring, and we saw them progress and get better throughout the season. And then what Rodney Garner was able to do on the recruiting trail, he goes out and he pulls a guy like Tyree West late in the game, right down to the wire, going into early signing day. And that's the thing when we look at the class of 23 right now, and I'm just as guilty as everybody. We get emotional, we get excited about the highs and the lows of recruiting. We get excited about a guy like Carnell Tate, then he ends up elsewhere. But guess what? We got a long way to go. Another guy you can look at last season that Rodney Garner pulled late in the game, James Pierce. And he ended up being a 5-star prospect on On3.com, 6'5", 220-pound edge rusher. He's a guy that I really think can make an impact this year as a true freshman. Now, James Pierce just arrived on campus during the summer. He was not an early enrollee, so he'll have fall camp. We'll see if he can get up to speed and see if he can make an impact. But I think James Pierce, Tyree West, both nice additions in the class of 22. Also, have got Joshua Josephs coming off of the edge, and another guy that got a lot of buzz, a lot of talk. He was only a 3-star prospect, but Jordan Phillips out of Florida. He was an early enrollee, actually got to partake in some of the bowl practices, and he's a guy that Rodney Garner had a lot of positive things to say about. So again, we talk about this rebuild, and when Josh Heupel came in, it was the bottom of the barrel. We were at rock bottom, but Josh Heupel does more with less, creates a little positivity. All of a sudden, expectations change. Everybody's now wanting 10 wins. Sometimes we got to refocus, dial back in, and realize where this program is at. And we talked about it being a 5-year rebuild, 4 to 5 year rebuild for Josh Heupel to flip this roster. But then all the momentum early in this class of 23 Nico gets in the boat. All of a sudden, that starts to shorten the gap. We start to say, hey, we can maybe get this thing done in 2 to 3 years instead of 4 to 5 years. But we've got to continue to add guys in this class of 23. And I think Rodney Garner has the opportunity to add some solid talent on this defensive line and continue to stack that talent. You've got a guy like Samuel Mpemba, who it's probably a long shot, but he's a guy that's showing interest, a guy that I feel good about, 4-star edge, Shandavion Bradley. I think Tennessee was out front in that one. Still probably think they may be. We'll see. He's not in town this weekend, but we'll see if Tennessee can get him back on campus after the dead period ends. If they do, I like Tennessee's chances to get Shandavion Bradley in the boat. Another guy I like, 4-star edge, Rico Walker, down to Tennessee and North Carolina, but he's a guy who, again, has great relationships, family ties to Rodney Garner. I think he's a guy that Tennessee can land. So who can we add on the inside? Who can Tennessee get in this class of 23 to make a presence at the defensive tackle spot? Well, that's where we pull this up. Take a look at Hunter Osborne. He is a 4-star defensive lineman out of Alabama, 6'3", 250 pounds. So he's got that weight. He'll be able to add some more weight. Now, he's a guy, look at his offers list. He's got offers from everybody. He can go anywhere he wants. He did visit back in May. Coming out of the visit, he talked about liking where Tennessee was at. He said Tennessee was up at the top of the board. Now, a lot of people think this one is down to Clemson. A lot of people think Hunter Osborne is going to Clemson, but Austin Price over at VAWLS made some good points about it, because when you're in the boat at Clemson, they don't give you an opportunity to take official visits. They pretty much shut you down at that point and lock you in. So Hunter Osborne still very much in the game for Tennessee. We'll see if they can get him in the boat while he is on campus right now for an official visit. Got some highlights up on the screen here so you can take a look at him. Again, just a big physical kid. Scouting report from 24/7 Sports has him verified at 6'3", 250 pounds, appears to possess growth potential to add additional weight to his frame. Says he displays good athleticism at the 5 technique, flashes some ability to play on the inside, flashes a good first step off the line of scrimmage, displaying good foot and body quickness at the point of attack, plays with good knee bend and flexibility, showing the ability to bend the edge. Sudden rusher, moves efficiency, and his pass rush can win with speed, quickness, and power. Shows the ability to go speed to power at the point of attack, plays with good understanding of leverage and body control, closes space quickly, flashes excellent backside pursuit ability, appears to have a good motor, says already 250 with some length. Position projection will depend on how physically he develops into his body over the next year and a half. Has the ability to play outside on the edge, but possesses more of a natural skill set inside as a 3 technique, anchoring the run, offering some pass rushing upside. Says here he projects to a high-level multi-year starter at a Power 5 program. Now, I really like this kid, big physical kid, but again, athletic. That's something that seems to be the norm with this coaching staff and who they go after, the athletic kids. He likes Rodney Garner. Some of the quotes coming out of his May visit talking about Coach Garner was he likes that he's going to be hard on you. And you know, when you're listening to the practice film, you hear Rodney Garner. He is the guy that stands out above everybody, always in your grill. He expects the most. He expects the best. And these kids love Rodney Garner, and they love what he does, and they know his track record speaks for itself. And, you know, somebody made a comment on one of the videos about not being impressed with Rodney Garner and his recruiting since he's been back at Tennessee. And I completely disagree. The names that I just rattled off in the class of 22, pulling Tyree West late in the game, getting James Pierce on board. And I know, you know, obviously we missed out on some recruits, but you also got to realize Rodney Garner is going after the best of the best. And when you're in these recruiting battles with teams like Alabama, with teams like Ohio State, Georgia, you're going to lose out on some of these top guys. But Rodney Garner was able to get some big-time talent on the defensive line, and I think he's going to do that again in 2023. I just hope that Rodney Garner doesn't decide to retire. We need to keep him in Knoxville as long as possible and let him build up this dominant defensive line, and I think he's going to do it. I think in a matter of 2-3 classes, Rodney Garner is going to have some studs. He's going to develop them. We know that. It's proven. We've seen him do it in the past. We saw him do it at Auburn. We saw him do it at Georgia. Rodney Garner has a proven track record. And if we can get some guys like Hunter Osborne in the boat, then I think we are going to see this defense start to turn around, because it all starts up front with the line of scrimmage. But that's going to wrap it up for this video. Hit that comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Does Tennessee have a chance? Does Tennessee have a chance to beat out Clemson for Hunter Osborne? If they don't, do you have the confidence in Rodney Garner to go out there and evaluate evaluate talent and get some kids in the boat to continue to build this defensive line. Because again, I think if we can add some studs within the next 2-3 years, Rodney Garner is going to have this defensive line where it needs to be. That's going to do it for this one. Make sure you smash the thumbs up on the way out the door. Make sure you go check out the merchandise. You know where. The link is in the description. Bonfire.com/store/TalkinVols. Today is Saturday. It is the big meet and greet. We're going to hang out at Play It Again Retro Arcade in Johnson City, Tennessee. We'll be there at 4 p.m. Eastern time today. So hope to see you guys out there for that. That's going to do it for this one. This is the Talkin' Vols Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.